The end of the Iranian regime is near. For almost 3 weeks, protesters have been fighting against the Ayatollah's regime, suffering heavy losses. Thousands of people have died at the hands of the bloody Iranian authorities, and the number keeps growing every day. Since the protests began, Trump has repeatedly stated that help is on the way. The Ayatollah's oppressive regime will be overthrown if the Iranian authorities resort to deadly violence against the peaceful protesters. So far, official Tehran has responded with threats, saying it would strike Israel and American bases in the region. But will they dare? And whose side is the power actually on? Arsenal is ready to tell you how the Americans plan to overthrow the Iranian authorities, what forces they will use, and whether Iran will be able to repel the attack. For several weeks now, Trump has been threatening to topple the Ayatollah's regime. The threats are loud and the promised strike is said to be devastating. But on January 16th, the American president suddenly announced there would be no strike. Supposedly, the Iranian authorities canceled executions in the country, so for now, they are not planning to attack.
They had scheduled more than 800 individual executions by hanging. They did not actually execute anyone. They canceled the executions.
But it's too soon for the Iranian regime to relax. The US is probably just waiting for the right moment.
If he needs a war right now, it would only be the kind like, say, in Venezuela, Caracas, taken in 3 hours. They fly in, neatly pick up Maduro, and bring him to New York. That's it, end of story. But launching a prolonged campaign in the Middle East could drive up oil prices. It could drag Americans into a war. Well, that's how he sees it, right? And that's what he assumes. So he absolutely doesn't need this at all.
The strike has to be truly devastating, and for that you will need powerful weapons. And they're already on the way. While Trump was saying on January 16th that there would be no strike, the American military had already started redeploying forces from the South China Sea to the Middle East. The aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln and other escort ships. It takes them about a week to reach Iran.
From a strategic military standpoint, the presence of carrier strike groups in the region is always a key indicator that something major is about to happen. Right now, the Lincoln carrier group is moving from the South China Sea toward the Middle East, while the Roosevelt carrier group has already arrived in the Red Sea area. They are gathering a collection of formidable military forces there. Plus, there are also several advanced submarines operating within the area. These are Georgia-class submarines with cruise missiles, plus 3 missile destroyers. Overall, the forces being assembled are quite impressive. Let me remind you, each carrier has a large escort group, a missile cruiser, a couple of destroyers, a submarine, other ships, and so on.
Both of these carriers, the USS Abraham Lincoln and the USS Theodore Roosevelt, are Nimitz-class, whose vessels are the most massive warships in the world. Nimitz-class aircraft carriers are built according to a classic design, but at the same time have a number of unique features. More specifically, their hulls are welded together using steel plates, and the main load-bearing structures, including the flight deck, are built using high-strength armored steel. But for us, the most important thing right now is the armament, and it is impressive. Just one single Lincoln carrier can carry a full air wing of 90 planes and helicopters. And if you add the Roosevelt carrier to that mix, we are talking about a total of at least 180 aircraft. Among the planes carried by these aircraft carriers is the legendary F-35.
Fifth-generation fighter jets are the machines that are supposed to completely change our understanding of combat aviation. First of all, they will be, barely detectable. These sophisticated new aircraft will be exceptionally well and exceptionally tightly integrated into all of the various ground forces command and control systems, including tactical and strategic networks.
Just the F-35 jets alone are capable of wiping Iran off the map. But that's still far from the full military strength the Americans are relying on. During the attack on Iran's nuclear facilities last summer, the US used B-2 Spirit bombers. Those are based at Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. It was from there that they flew to attack Tehran, refueling in the air. Given the overwhelming success of the B-2, there is absolutely no doubt. If the US decides to strike Tehran, these stealth bombers will be involved. In particular, thanks to its specialized armament, the B-2 is the only U.S. bomber uniquely capable of carrying the GBU-57, a massive 13-ton bomb known as the bunker buster. It is capable of drilling into the ground to a depth of 60 meters like a 20-story building and detonating inside. To prevent a premature explosion, specialized fuses are installed in the tail section that regulate the delay and impact force. They can count down the milliseconds to detonation, adjusting based on the specific resistance of the rock. Every American combat aircraft can carry up to 2 of these specialized bombs. Therefore, if the United States so desires, the Iranian regime will be overthrown, along with the ayatollah, no matter what bunker he hides in. And let's not forget about the Tomahawks as well. Undoubtedly, they will also be ready to strike. These cruise missiles can be launched from both aircraft carriers and submarines. Tomahawks are one of America's enemies' absolute worst nightmares.
The very first initial versions of the Tomahawk cruise missile had a maximum operational range of approximately 2,500 kilometers. Later on, when it became clear that such long ranges weren't really necessary for most missions, military planners eventually concluded that a range of 1,600 kilometers was sufficient and simply increased the explosive warhead. There are a wide variety of different configurations of the Tomahawk missile, which provide the capability to effectively assemble almost any kind of modern precision strike weapon option available today in terms of the warhead. And, well, they truly have every possible component available.
All Iran was able to do, according to their own statements, was supposedly evacuate equipment in anticipation of the strike. But that's hardly surprising since they don't really have anything to defend themselves with. If we talk about the air fleet, Tehran's is extremely limited. Iran has outdated and not fully operational American-made aircraft such as the F-5, F-4, and F-14, as well as several dozen Chinese copies of the MiG-21, original MiG-29s, and up to 50 various Sukhoi jets. As for Iran's entire air defense, it was destroyed during that same operation in 2025. Just a month later, Tehran claimed that they had completely replaced the systems. But how much their words can be trusted is a mystery. And considering previous experience, Iran's air defense is clearly not the biggest problem for the Americans. Moreover, we shouldn't forget about the main US ally, Israel. It took part in the previous attack. If there is a new strike on Iran, it's likely that Tel Aviv will not stand aside either. Moreover, they have already stated that they are ready to destroy the ayatollah regime to its very foundation.
In Israel, a high-ranking security official said that if in response to an American strike, Iran starts shelling us, that is Israel, then this will not be just another round of war, it will be an operation to overthrow the regime. We will begin to act towards regime change. In other words, simply the complete and total destruction of everything there.
What do you think? Will the US strike Iran, and how powerful do you think that attack will be? Share your opinion in the comments. And don't forget to like this video and make sure to subscribe to our official Arsenal channel so you don't miss any of the latest and most interesting club updates.